one last time. It's time to decide a champion. Here we go from Nashville.
What does Will Power do here in the first corner? He looks high behind his Team Penske teammate, Joseph Newgarden. Will Power goes to the high side looking for third.
And there's 3 wide behind. Pretty sure that's Santino Ferrucci. No surprise there as Kirkwood under pressure from Newgarden on the outside of 3 and 4.
Joseph Newgarden tries to make the high line work. That's been one of the questions. The Indy Next race today was highly entertaining, and Newgarden's going to get after it. Kirkwood leads the lap, but side by side. Newgarden trying to hang it on the outside.
These guys know the track is clean right now. They have about 10 laps to sort it out, and then the degradation of the tires. That rubber will start to build offline, and it'll get sketchy, but Newgarden making it work right now.
Hey, as long as these two are running side by side, that second lane could stay good for quite a few laps.
Here are the Ganassi side by side again. And Rinus VeeKay wants to get in the mix. He's in the green and black car. It's 3 wide. VeeKay down on the low side. Got a 2 for 1.
And Linus Lundqvist, the first to get pushed up high onto the dirty part of the racetrack, and he's going to pay for it. His tires will still be dirty when he gets to this end of the track. Here comes Ferrucci.
Sure, he's paying for it with a couple positions, but he could have been paying for it with a trip to the Med Center. That was so close to an accident. A trip to pit lane. This is going to undo his championship charge. He will go multiple laps down, pitting under green, and that's provided we just have a normal stop here, which isn't the case.
I don't see anything obviously wrong with the race car right now.
The lap belt.
Oh no.
The lap belts.
And this is not an easy fix. Caution is out for the first time, and oh no, we just talked about Rosenqvist. Let's watch.
Let's pit now, tire blue.
Right front tire went down.
Wow. Keep an eye on Malukas going side by side for Herta. Malukas on the low side, trying to get to second.
That racetrack still looks pretty dirty to the high side. Herta is flirting with that dirty edge of the groove, but he's making it work.
Big defensive move from Ericsson down in the background on Lundqvist. Ericsson on those primaries, Lundqvist on the alternates. He's got the grip as we see McLaughlin working the high side as well behind.
Herta prevails. He maintains second. Malukas is still there. Remember how fast he's been on ovals. 3 wide almost for a moment, a little further back. It is still 2 wide.
Santino Ferrucci trying to get involved in this Ericsson-Lundqvist battle as there's a fight for the lead into 3. Herta on the outside of Newgarden.
Can he make it stick there?
Oh,
the 2 Nashville neighbors fighting for the lead.
Sorry, Kevin. Colton sliding right up towards the wall. He starts to tuck in. He's got to make it work to the high side right now, or else that groove is going to single up fast. I think Colton realizes that.
We see Catherine Legg going around and rolling through the grass, and the second caution has come out.
Let's take another look. Indeed, the 5-hour car. Watch him make a move here.
Down low, nice and early.
Nothing wrong with that. Then he slides up and takes the air off of Catherine's front wing, and then she's up into the dirt, dust, and tire debris.
Leaders have come to pit lane. It's going to be busy down here. You see Herta going into his stop.
Keep an eye on the Gamebridge car there first, rolling in near the middle of pit lane. Newgarden and others are going to be a little further up. They are going to the alternates, a front wing adjustment again for Colton Herta. He gets out with Alex Palou, the championship, soon-to-be champion, right in front of him. Here's Newgarden at pit exit. Can he win the race off pit lane one more time? Yes, he can. Going back to green at the Nashville Super Speedway. You've got lap traffic in the mix to sort things out. That is Scott Dixon right behind him, second in line, but he's not on the lead lap.
But it's David Malukas trying to make the move on Joseph Newgarden for the first driver on that strategy. Rossi up front, Dixon not able to make the move. Rinus VeeKay in the black and green car next in line as 3 wide.
Contact further back. Kiffin Simpson walks his car up the track. Linus Lundqvist is wide. All these cars on fresh tires are feeling hero grip right now. Marcus Ericsson into the wall.
Caution flag is out. And big wiggle. I mean, he was a little bit high on entry anyway, then had the wiggle correction, and that was the difference. It just pushed the car that extra car width up.
Pato Award on a different strategy. The others, can they make it home? Little battle further back. Colton Herta has been fast in that white, yellow, and black car, trying to move forward, and he's got side-by-side action in front of him. Kyle Kirkwood still on the attack too, as we ride the game bridge on board and look up at Newgarden.
David Malukas passed Joseph Newgarden in turn 2, pushed him up a little high, and Newgarden is paying the price, falling back a couple spots. But I think this is the battle for the win right here. Colton Herta and David Malukas. Sister programs, Meyer Shank versus Andretti. Malukas goes low, Herta to the high side.
Herta driving it really deep in, and he's hanging in there mid-corner. He's going to have a better run coming off. Crossover now to the inside.
Herta is the veteran, but he's only 24 years old, and he's going to move past the 22-year-old from Chicago. Colton Herta may have the effective lead of the race.
These two drivers went at it in the junior formula in the Indy Light Series many years ago. O'Ward beat Herta for the championship. Herta would love nothing more to stick it to O'Ward and get his first oval win today. And Stingray Robb pushes O'Ward high.
O'Ward goes high. Colt goes low. He's side by side. He's going to have the inside line into 3, and Herta is through.
Colton Herta has taken the lead. Colton Herta, who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, has now conquered an oval for the first time. Herta wins the season finale at Nashville, finishes second in the championship. Alex Palou, it's the Palou Show, a 3-time champion, all in the last 4 years. Alex Palou did it.
Let's go, boys! Yes, yes! Thank you, guys! You guys are the best! Woo!
Welcome. It is the Push to Pass podcast on this Tuesday night. I am Derek Vance, and you see with me, as always, Josh Roberts is joining us as well. Michael had a prior obligation, so he will not be joining us this evening. But what a great finish to a interesting season, I think, to say the least, here in the 2024 NTT IndyCar Series. You see right there, Colton Herta able to pick up his first oval victory of his career, and we'll expand a little bit more on that as the show unfolds. But Alex Palou, what can you say that has not been said about Alex Palou picking up his third NTT IndyCar Series championship, the Astro Cup, his third Astro Cup in 5 years on the circuit. We'll talk a little bit more of that here as the show unfolds as well. Mike will be joining us to review his bets this past weekend in Nashville, and then the season as a whole. And then we'll have a lot of news to dig into as you start seeing that silly season now start to come to fruition as the book closed on the 2024 season this past Sunday. But before we get into all of that, Josh, how are you doing this evening?
Fantastic, Derek. Can't complain. It was an eventful race, kind of anticlimactic on the points chase due to a malfunction in the lap belt for one of the drivers, but that didn't take away from Colton Herta's magnificent run this past Sunday at Nashville, and I can't wait to see what if this propels Herta next year into being one of the favorites for the Astro Cup. So can't wait to talk about your 5 takeaways from this past Sunday.
Yeah, and without further ado, obviously, we will touch on some of those here momentarily that you just talked about. But yes, let's get into to my 5 takeaways. Obviously, I loved all throughout the season listening to your opinion and Michael's opinion on my 5 takeaways. Some of them I got right. Obviously, some of them I got wrong, and obviously we we shared different opinions throughout the season, obviously, for sure. Let me throw these my 5 takeaways up on screen. Again, first and foremost, before we get to that, like I said, huge congratulations. Obviously, first goes out to Colton Herta in the whole number 26 Gainbridge Honda Andretti Global with Curb Crew for picking up his first oval victory of his career, his 9th overall win on this past Sunday's Big Machine Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Super Speedway. And then also, as we touched on there as well, another huge congratulations goes out to Alex Pillow for in the whole number 5 DHL Honda Chip Ganassi racing crew for Alex collecting his 3rd Astro Cup in 5 years. And as you see right there up on your screen, Alex does become the latest back-to-back NTT IndyCar Series champion since the great Dario Franchitti, who won 3 titles in a row, believe it or not, in between 2009 and 2011. So as you see down there, let's get to my 5 takeaways. Number 1, as you see right there on your screen, and I think Josh is going to absolutely love this one as I do, but more ovals equals more fun. You know, who can argue, obviously, that the about the series finale at the Nashville Super Speedway should be moved away from the Speedway and back to the street course. And you know, I've been a strong advocate on this podcast. If you're a loyal listener throughout the years, and I've pounded the table over for more ovals, and we are getting 6 in 2025. So that's exciting. So maybe, just maybe, ladies and gentlemen, IndyCar is starting to come around to the idea of more ovals and listening to the fans. Obviously, that remains to be seen as we move forward. Hopefully, Josh, we're able to get more ovals and less road course and street courses. Thoughts on that?
Well, I'm going to both agree with you on one point and disagree with you on another. I do, you know, I love ovals. I think that more ovals are a great thing, just because I don't know. I feel like ovals are more of more of an American style of racing. You know, you've people grown up on NASCAR. People have grown up, you know, your short tracks. Going around and around just seems to be more fitting for the American public. So I'm always excited when there's going to be more ovals, more passing, more drama, in my opinion. But the one thing I will disagree with you on is don't take away the Nashville's road course or their street course, because I mean, I haven't been to it. You went to it a couple of 2 years in a row, and I just feel like if you take the race out of downtown Nashville, you kind of take away that special quality that the Nashville race had, the buzz. You know, you had everyone downtown the night before or the Friday before, partying, you know, on Broadway and that. And I think it takes away if you switch it permanently to the Nashville Super Speedway. So on one hand, I do agree. I love ovals, and I can never get enough of them. But on the other hand, find it somewhere else. Find it if there's somewhere else that you can put another oval in somewhere. Try that, but leave the future races, if possible, in the downtown Nashville Metroplex area.
Wow, I do have to say sorry to step away for a minute, but yes, that is an interesting take. I think that you know, you would like to see Nashville continue to stay a street course. You know, as much as I enjoyed watching the Indy cars go around, what is it? Nissan Stadium, I believe is what that is there in Nashville. I've just become a fan, and I don't know if it's because going out to the track so much, but I've just become a fan of ovals. I just think the street courses and road courses just become kind of lackadaisical, kind of boring, kind of follow the leader racing. But I definitely respect your opinion. I'm shocked. I have to say I'm a little shocked that you would prefer Nashville to stay with the road course. But yeah, interesting, and we'll see what NASCAR or we'll see what IndyCar does next year. I know looking at the schedule next year, it is scheduled to go to the Nashville Super Speedway, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there when that stadium is completely built there, the new Titan Stadium, and we'll see what happens. Definitely for sure. But we'll move on here to the next takeaway, number 4, and let me see if I can make this a tad bit bigger for everyone. Hopefully that does the trick there. But number 4 right there, you see that championship drama? Nah, not really. We all knew going in to Sunday's race that the talk of the paddock was if, and that was a big if, Will Power of the number 12 Verizon team at Penske Chevrolet could overtake Alex Palou and rip the Astro Cup out of his hands. When the race started, give Will Power all the credit in the world. He got a great starting position there, 4th, while Alex Palou struggled a little bit and started 24th. But as you see right there in the show opener, it was all for naught. As when the race began, Will Power's seatbelt disconnected, and I would love to know how that is possible. The world may never know. Kind of like how many licks it takes to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Pop. We may never know. But unfortunately, that on lap 12, he had to come into the pits to get his seatbelts refastened, and that ended up putting him 5 laps down, which let Alex Palou cruise to a top 15 finish and a 3rd Astro Cup in 5 years. Some quotes from Will Power there after the race. Quote, "I was driving down the front stretch there and just felt a pop on the lap belt," Power said. "That's a abnormal thing. I don't know what went wrong. Very strange failure. I've never had that before. You have engine failures, gearbox failures. I had a belt failure. Disappointing, but a big congrats to Alex, a tough guy to beat. Ganassi did a great job. It's been fun racing with those guys all season." So thoughts on the championship drama that we thought was going to happen, but in all honesty, just really wasn't.
Someone's getting fired, in my opinion, because there had to have been, everyone, you get your tire guy, you got your fuel guy. There's got to be someone that inspects the car before each race, just to go over, okay, is this working? Okay, how about this? Okay, the weight jackers are working. Okay, who was in charge of making sure that belt snap, that belt fastener was both connected and sturdy on each side? Another question. I know this is this is a safety issue if he would have done this, but would IndyCar I wonder if they have a sensor to where it tells them that either the harness or something in the car is not connected, to where after the race, if he were to have finish the race incident free, which I know going 200 miles an hour around a super speedway is a big if, and it's very dangerous. But did he ever think for a second, hey, nobody will know, I can just keep going and hope that nothing happens? I know it probably didn't go into his brain, but could it have possibly? But yeah, very lackluster, for the anticlimactic ending to that points championship. At that particular point when he went 5 laps down, I'm sure Palou's pit crew just hit on the radio and told him, hey, take it easy, you know, just go around, don't try anything big, and we got our third Astro Cup in 5 years locked up. So I mean, I was hoping for a race to the end, you know, maybe they get 1-2, and you know they're battling back and forth, and it goes to the finish line, but it didn't happen that way. And you know, Will Power was very generous and in congratulating Alex Palou, and not as I can imagine he was in his trailer and he may have said some not so nice words, you know, by himself in the trailer, but to come out and be so gracious to Palou was a stand-up move.
Yeah, you definitely got to feel, I think, for Will Power there a little bit. You know, who would have thought that a safety belt failure was going to be what holds you back from potentially making a run at the championship? I don't know to answer your question. I'm not vastly knowledgeable when it comes to safety belts and Indy cars. But I think that's a great question to ask. You know, what would have happened, or, you know, was there a warning light or something that came off, or is that just feel by Will Power? I would imagine it's probably just feel, because I would imagine having as much seat time as he does, you know, he'll know when his seatbelts are fastened and when they're not. So, but yeah, kind of disappointing. But you know what? We'll talk about here in the last takeaway how dominant Alex Palou has been, and it'll show here after doing the numbers just how dominant he has been and how tough he is to beat for sure. Getting down to my third takeaway, and this has been a guy that we have talked about numerous times on the podcast more recently, the success he has had more recently, but that is Santino Ferrucci, and you have to give it to him. What a season Santino has had. In his 7 years on the NTT IndyCar Series circuit, Santino Ferrucci in the number 14 Sexton Properties Chevrolet for AJ Foyt Enterprises seems like he is just getting better with age. During the season this year, obviously, Ferrucci was able to collect his first NTT P1 award, 2 top 5s, and 11 top 10s with an average starting position of 15th and an average finishing position of 11th. And not to mention, I didn't put it in the story, but not to mention, Santino ended up finishing inside the top 10 in points, 9th as well. So huge shout out there to Santino Ferrucci and everybody over there at AJ Foyt Enterprises. And then we'll touch a little about this in the notes section or portion of the show later on. But after this great year Santino had, he definitely got rewarded. Right before the race this weekend, Ferrucci did sign a new multi-year deal with AJ Foyt. So what a dynamic duo, as Batman and Robin used to say there, with Santino Ferrucci and David Malukas, Josh, in the stable of AJ Foyt Enterprises going into 2025.
Oh, definitely. What a heck of a season for Santino. I mean, all the accolades he was able to bring in, and to finish top 10 in points. That's a pretty big thing. And I'm sure AJ Foyt Racing and AJ himself are just ecstatic about teaming him up with Malukas going forward. You know, two younger drivers, but seasoned drivers, as you would say. They both have they don't have, you know, the Scott Dixon or the Will Power time behind the wheel, but they're getting up there, and they're showing that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with you know, trying to keep up with Pato, and if Palou stays, and all the other young guns. But what a heck of a season for Santino. I mean, words can't express it, in my opinion. He's growing into the car. And I look for him to have him along with Colton Herta to have a breakout season next year, and possibly push Palou to take the Astro Cup crown away from him next year.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned Colton Herta, because that is takeaway number 2. Oval win, check. And I think you're going to find these statistics here hard to believe here momentarily. But sure, it may have taken Colton Herta 99 races, but he can finally lay claim that he has now won a race on an oval track. Obviously, after winning Sunday, he collected his 2nd win of the season, 9th in his career. Believe it or not, at his hometown track. Yes, he is, he's born and raised in California, but now he does reside just outside of Nashville, where he lives there in the off season. So it got to be a huge momentum boost going into the off season for Colton Herta to be able to pick up that oval win on his home track, or considered his home track there, just outside of Nashville. Now, Herta as well, again, momentum going into the offseason, and we know how big that can be for a driver. After his win on Sunday, Herta did climb from 4th in point standings to a career best 2nd in the final point standings, which we'll show here momentarily. He ended up falling 31 points behind 3-time champion now, Alex Palou. Now, this statistic right here really threw me for a loop here. I don't know how many people know this or not, but this was the first oval victory for the Andretti team since Alexander Rossi won on an oval at Pocono Raceway, Josh, back in 2018. So that's how big a drought the Andretti racing team has been in when it comes to oval racing. So you see how far they've come from that last victory in 2018 to just this past Sunday. Quote from Herta here. "I'm so happy," Herta said. We knew we were going to have a lot of we knew we were going to have a hot rod in the race. It's been an amazing year. I just finished 2nd in the championship, which is awesome. Hoping to do a little better next year. So you already see that momentum from Sunday, from the win, finishing 2nd, carrying that through. You can hear that in his voice there, Josh, going into 2025. So I think you're absolutely right. Colton Herta definitely grew a lot this year, and he is going to be, in my opinion, one of the championship contenders in 2025.
Definitely. He struggled at times. He always persevered, and to be able to get in there and be, I know nobody likes to be the bridesmaid, but to be 2nd to Palou in this season is a great building block for his career, and I'm sure Andretti Global is just ecstatic about the possibilities going forward with him. I mean, that's a long stretch to go for a team to not have a big team like Andretti Global to not have a win on a road on a oval. What is that? 6 years. 6 years. I mean, that's for a team that big and that powerful with that much resource to not have a win on an oval is just mind-boggling. And I'm sure all the folks at Andretti, including Michael Andretti, are just over the moon over Colton and what he's done, what he's been able to accomplish this year, and going forward. The sky's the limit for him. Sky's the limit, and I see him on a rocket ship as one of our. As somebody we know that he's on a rocket ship towards the stratosphere, and only time will tell how this all pans out for him.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And again, he's only, I think 23 years old. So, the sky's the limit, as you said. He has not got to his glass ceiling yet, as they like to say, for athletes. So definitely with the momentum Colton picked up here towards the end of the year, picking up this victory, finishing 2nd in points, rolling that over to 2025. Definitely going to see big things, I think, from not only Colton Herta, but from Andretti Global there as well. Well, last takeaway, and Josh, I had no other way to put this, but we have seen dynasties in professional sports. There's a couple that come to mind. One I hate to talk about, so I'll talk about that one last. But we've seen the Chicago Bulls and the dynasty that they have put together. Obviously, we've seen the evil empire in baseball, and that's why I'll leave it right there. Have a dynasty in baseball as well. But are we looking at a potential dynasty when it comes to the NTT IndyCar Series, and it comes to Alex Palou? And I ask, is this just the beginning? And breaking down some of these statistics here, because you know how big of a statistics guy that I am. I took a look at Palou's 3 championship seasons. He is now 5 seasons or 5 years on the NTT IndyCar Series, and 3 of those seasons have ended in championships back to back last year and this year, obviously. So during those 3 championship seasons for Palou, he has collected a total of 10 wins, 24 podiums, 6 poles, and he has led just under 800 laps at 779. I would love to know somebody that has more knowledge or a vast expansion of knowledge of the NTT IndyCar Series. Has this kind of dominance ever been shown in the IndyCar Series? I would love to absolutely know that. Some more nuggets here about Palou and what he accomplished on Sunday. He is now the 13th driver in history to earn at least 3 championships, and just the 7th driver to win 3 titles in 4 years. Like I mentioned, opening up this article, Dario Franchitti was the last when he won 3 straight championships from 2009 to 2011. And then one more nugget here. Palou, who is 27 years, 5 months, and 14 days old, now becomes the 2nd youngest driver to win 3 IndyCar Series championships. The only driver rather, younger to do that is Northwest Ohio's, yes, I'm going to stick that in there, Northwest Ohio's own Sam Hornish Jr., who was younger, slightly younger, 27 years, 2 months, and 8 days in 2006. And then a quote here from Palou before we throw it over to Josh. We just had to keep it going, Palou said of his focus after he learned of Power's troubles. I know Josh spoke on that a little bit ago. I have to thank everyone working on the 10 car. Super proud. It's been an amazing year, and I'm happy we got the championship back home. So your thoughts, Josh, on, are we starting to see here not a Alabama dynasty, not a Chicago Bulls dynasty, and heaven forbid, not a evil empire dynasty, but a Alex Palou dynasty?
Yes, we are. I mean, you can classify this as a dynasty. I mean, it's back to back, and 3 and 5 years. So it's a dynasty. It's I don't know. Can you? Is there another word for dynasty for a single person, doing something? I guess you could consider his entire team. I guess you can consider his whole race team as a team, and that's their dynasty. But this guy, I mean, he goes out there and just he doesn't put himself in any danger of wrecking, or he had the mishap in Milwaukee, and he was able to overcome that and finish, and then just to give himself the chance to make it to Nashville and have a chance to win his 3rd Astro Cup. It's mind-boggling, and I know I use that a lot, but it's just mind-boggling the amount of talent this kid has inside of an IndyCar. If he were to if he were next year to come out and win it again, I mean, what else besides winning the Indy 500? What else is there for him to do in IndyCar? Three Astro Cups, equaling Dario Franchitti. That would be, I would imagine he would be over the moon for that. But I know he's probably not, he's not counting his chickens before they hatch. So he's going to go into next season with a laser focus of I'm going for my third Astro Cup and make me almost the GOAT of IndyCar racing. You have GOATs of the Indy 500, but to be the GOAT of the series is just would be a great thing. You have not even the great Dale Earnhardt over in NASCAR when he was there. Not even he could say that he was a two-time defending champion for NASCAR. But the only one that compares is Jimmy Johnson, the former IndyCar driver when he was over at NASCAR. So he's going to be tough to beat because he doesn't make mistakes. He has mechanical issues, and there's some. He's had a problem in the pits at the 500 a couple of years ago. But other than that, he just does not make any mental mistakes. And it is, for someone his age to be able to do that in an IndyCar is just crazy. So congratulations to Alex. Congratulations to his team. And going forward, we'll see what he can pull out for 2025.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the one accolade that Alex Palou is still missing is that that Borg Warner. I don't think he's too far behind on that. As you mentioned, if it wasn't for one spin out there by Renus VK 2 years ago, he might well have that Borg Warner in his trophy case. But yeah, I think obviously, as we were talking about Colton Herta, there's nothing Alex Palou can't do in a race car. I think, and as much as I hate to say this, I think he's in another stratosphere when it comes to IndyCar drivers. I think it's Alex Palou, and then I think there's a gap. The gap may be shrinking, but as of right now, I mean, how can you not put Alex Palou above the rest of the field? What he's done in those 3 championship seasons, now going back to back, which we haven't seen since Dario Franchitti did it 3 times. And keep this in mind: Alex Palou, Chip Ganassi Racing, Dario Franchitti, Chip Ganassi Racing as well. So something there to keep in mind going forward. But those are the 5 takeaways. Obviously, don't forget, I know it's away on the calendar yet, but our next NTT IndyCar series, unfortunately, yes, do the sad face, unfortunately, is Sunday, March 2nd, 2025, when we kick off the season in St. Petersburg for the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg, presented by RP Funding. So mark your calendars there. March 2nd, 2025 is when we're going to start seeing cars back on the track. If you didn't catch the race results on Sunday, let's throw them up on screen for everyone. You should be able to see them now. Obviously, Colton Herta, Pato Award, Joseph Newgarden were your podium winners, and then followed by Kyle Kirkwood, Scott McLaughlin, Santino Ferrucci, Marcus Armstrong, Linus Lundqvist, David Malukas, and you see Connor Daly there coming up with another top 10 for Juncos Hollinger. Great outing there for Daly for sure. Then it was Alex Palou, Rinus VeeKay, Jack Harvey, Christian Rasmussen, Alexander Rossi. His last ride for Arrow McLaren. Not sure where he's going to be yet in 2025. Then it was Roman Grosjean, Scott Dixon, Nolan Siegel, Christian Lundgaard, Stingray Robb. That's somebody else we don't know where he's going to be in 2025. Pietro Fittipaldi, Kiffin Simpson, Graham Rahal, Power, Marcus Ericsson, Catherine Legg, and Felix Rosenquist rounded out your 27 drivers that finished on Sunday. Let's move over to the final points standings for this 2024 season. Obviously, your points winner there, Alex Palou, followed by Colton Herta, Scott McLaughlin, Will Power, falling from second to fourth, and Pato Ward round out your top five. Then it was Scott Dixon, Kyle Kirkwood, Joseph Newgarden, Santino Ferrucci, Alexander Rossi round out your top 10. Outside the top 10, Christian Lundgaard, Felix Rosenquist, Rinus VeeKay, Marcus Armstrong, Marcus Ericsson, Linus Lundqvist, Roman Grosjean, Graham Rahal, and Pietro Fittipaldi. And then rounding out the top 20 was Stingray Robb, followed by the other lone driver to finish all 17 races this year, Kiffin Simpson, who finishes 21st in points. So that is how the points shook out. Before we get to our race picks, and Michael's not going to be here to gloat. Thank God. I guess we'll have to wait for next week. We do the wrap-up show. We'll have to let him have a segment to gloat. Josh, let's go listen to the championship winner on Sunday, Alex Palou, and a few words that he had after
here
the
to
race.
Victory Circle. You made slight contact with the fence. I think that's the only time all season long you put a wheel in the wrong place. Congratulations for the third time. You are the NTT IndyCar Series season champion. Was there ever a question in your mind over the course of this season as Chip Ganassi comes in to celebrate, gives him a hug? Barry Wanser has done the same. Alex Palou, was there ever a time over the course of the season where you wondered if you'd be in this spot?
Yeah, I mean, it's never for real. Like, it's never done until it's done. Will was an amazing competitor, Team Penske as well. But yeah, I'm glad that the CGR and the 10 DHL Honda car was able to be back here again on the championship circle. So yeah, super proud. Couldn't be happier right now.
How much were they keeping you abreast of what happened in the situation with Will Power, and did it change any strategy over the course of this race here in Nashville?
Yeah, they updated me. Obviously, I saw the 12 going into the pit lane, so I'm fortunate to finish the battle like that. But yeah, they were updating me once in a while.
I don't want to cramp your style anymore. There's a lot of celebrating to do. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Alex Palou has won the 16th season championship for Chip Ganassi Racing. And Alex Palou on his way in here to Victory Circle.
And that was, as you see, or as you hear,
Hey, we can't hear you, Derek. You're muted, I think. We apologize for the technical. Maybe I'm not. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Oh. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Derek? I can't. I can't hear. I don't know what you said, Derek. If you had said something, I congratulate Michael on his victory. He came in mid-season and was able to kick my butt. Congratulations to Michael. There we go. Can you hear me now?
Hopefully, can you hear me?
Yeah, I could. Yeah, for a little while there, you kind of cut out, and we've gone to the race picks, and as I said, Mike came in and just trounced me. I mean, I had a good lead, and then I just, after Road America, I could not pick anybody. Rosenquist this past weekend looked really good in qualifying, and then something just happened. Tire went down, hit the wall, couldn't finish the race. Just craziness.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what I was talking about was just you know, as they like to say in Vegas, I know you're home away from home, that Michael got on a heater, and he just couldn't be beat there, as you see. And me myself, I have to do some soul searching a little bit, and get to do some better research for next year, because I know you're going to graciously turn over the title or the belt to Michael, and he'll be able to hang on to it till 2025. But like I said, anybody that I would pick seemed like it was the kiss of death, as you see there. So hopefully we are all better in 2025 in our picks section for sure. So a little bit more business to take care of before we get on out of here. I was notified that Mike is not going to be able to join us this evening, so we'll have to find out what his Nashville review was in 2 weeks when we do our season review and recap, and then we will be on hiatus for a while as we get a well-deserved break from the NTT IndyCar Series before we pick things back up towards the end of February, 1st of March for, like I said, that Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. But I do have to thank some people that have been proud sponsors of this show now for going on 3 years. If you can believe that, Josh, we are going to complete our third, maybe not year, but our third full year of the Push to Pass podcast. And obviously, as I've said over and over again, a huge thank you to both first, Always Ready 1776 for all your apparel, headwear, and more. Go check out Always Ready 1776, and you can find them on the World Wide Web at alwaysready1776.com. Also, too, huge thank you to Gettum Associates for all of your home design, build, and remodeling needs. It is Gettum Associates, and you can find them on the web as well at gettum.com. And if you do want to use their services, go to gettum.com and use that promo code that you see right down there at the bottom of the screen, Push to Pass, for $250 off any design service. So again, a huge thank you throughout the year and for the past 3 years to both Always Ready 1776 and Gettum Associates for being proud sponsors of the Push to Pass podcast. So Josh, before we get on out of here, we do have some news items, obviously, that are making the silly season kind of take shape, and we're starting to see what the dominoes are going to look like here going forward in 2025. First, we had some interesting news that we talked about last week that Michael was able to share with us, that Kyle Larson, and we're really excited, I think, about this, Josh, that Kyle Larson is going to be making his second attempt at the double. But unfortunately, it does come with a caveat that right now, Kyle Larson and his team there is going to make the NASCAR Coca-Cola 600 a little more of a priority than he's going to the Indianapolis 500. But I think hats off to him for attempting this for the second time. He tried this past year, obviously, with the weather playing a factor into that, wasn't able to do it. But I commend Kyle for attempting this again next year. Quick thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, it's a great thing for the 500. It's going to bring more fans out. I mean, not that you could get any more fans into that place, but I hope that he's able to actually complete it this time. Hope that the weather stays nice for a Sunday, and that he's able to get the race done and get in his private jet, and head on down to Charlotte, where he'll be able to run the Coca-Cola 600 later on that night. Still lots of questions. I mean, the main question is, let's say there's not as long as of a rain delay this time, but he's in the car, he's driving, he's in contention for a win. Will they actually pull him off the track just to get him to the Coca-Cola 600? Another question that we posed was, can they replace him mid-ride? You know, if he you know, he's got to get out. Can they put a replacement driver in? A lot of questions that will be that will come up next year, and we will talk about that in the 2025 season as we lead up to the Indy 500, the granddaddy of them all.
Yeah, a lot of questions yet to be answered, yet to be determined, but I'm sure we will get answers obviously at the appropriate time. Another bit of news that broke before the race this past weekend. Obviously, we touched on our during my 5 takeaways, but Santino Ferrucci obviously signing that agreement to stay, that multi-year agreement to stay with the AJ Foyt racing in 2025. Good for him, and I think the stable over there that AJ Foyt is building with him and with David Malukas coming over next year is definitely going to be, I think, a partnership to watch out for, and the momentum that AJ Foyt Enterprises, specifically Santino Ferrucci, was able to gather towards the end of the year and bring that into 2025. Just going to be, I think, somebody to watch out for next year.
Definitely. Congratulations to Santino on the contract extension of being able to stay with AJ Foyt Racing starting next year. You know, as we said, and like you said in your, and like I said in your 5 takeaways when we talked about him, great season, lots to build on. You know, being in that top 10 of the points, it's good. It's gonna do nothing but propel him, and I can't wait to see what he does next year for AJ Foyt.
Yeah, definitely can't wait for that as well. Speaking of somebody that is going to be staying put next year, Felix Rosenquist was able to get a multi-year deal. It looks like there to stay with Meyer Shank Racing past 2025. I don't believe that, unless I missed the news, that Meyer Shank has announced who that second driver is going to be next year. I have a hunch it could be Alexander Rossi, but that remains to be seen. But huge congratulations goes out to Felix Rosenquist. You know, a lot of success he had beginning of the year. He kind of tailed off there towards the end, but huge congratulations, I think, is in order for Felix Rosenquist being able to get a multi-year deal done with Meyer Shank Racing 2025 and beyond.
Even though Felix cost me the Pick'em Championship this year by having a terrible mishap in Nashville, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Meyer Shank, and like you said, we'll be looking out to figure out who that second driver is going to be to team up with him. So congratulations, and hopefully next year's a lot better on the racetrack out of the results.
Yep. And the last bit of news, I know we're going to have a new IndyCar team in 2025, Prima Racing. Well, we knew who their first driver is going to be, as it was announced today that Callum Ilott is going to be their first driver, Prima Racing, to drive for them in 2025. Obviously, Callum, I thought he did a tremendous job, and I know me and Michael Hollinger. But don't forget also, too, that I thought he did a great job filling in for at AJ Foyt, or excuse me, not AJ Foyt, Arrow McLaren. There we go, for Arrow McLaren this year as well. So congratulations goes out to Callum Ilott for being Prima Racing's first IndyCar Series driver starting in 2025. Thoughts, Josh?
Don't know too much about Prima Racing. I think we talked about him earlier this season. I've slept since then, but Callum Ilott's got to feel pretty lucky, or it's a prestigious thing. New team coming in, and they've chosen for Callum to be their first driver to race for them next year and race the full season. So that's always a cool thing when you get a new team in there. See how they can perform. Being the rookie teams of the season. Rookie teams of the series. They'll have some growing pains, but I'm sure Callum will be able to get in there and help them navigate the waters of the IndyCar circuit.
I think one would wonder now with Premier Racing taking Callum Ilott. I think it would make sense to me. And again, I know we live in a world that doesn't make sense, but I think it would make sense to me that Prima Racing is going to bring in, if they're going to do 2 cars next year, they're going to bring in a veteran. Could that be the landing spot for Alexander Rossi? I don't know. But I would imagine with getting Ilott out there, yeah, he does have a little bit of experience, but I think there's going to have to be a veteran presence, as they like to say in professional sports, on that team. So that may be a landing spot potentially for Alexander Rossi. Obviously, that remains to be seen. Josh, that does it for all of our news and notes from this week. A lot to go through. We had a lot to digest. Anything else? Any last words that you want to put on here before the checkered flag drops? We got one more show for this season, our season wrap-up show next week. And then, like I said, we are off until February of 2025, until the Firestone Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Seems so far away, but it'll come up quicker than what we know.
Just congratulations to all the drivers for making it through the season, and no serious injuries. I know we had some turmoil, some as some people would say, cheating scandal at the beginning. I don't look at it as cheating. I look at it as a mishap of epic proportions. But congratulations to Alex. Goes out to Alex Below. And but big congratulations, in my opinion, goes out to Scott Dixon and Will Power on just being able to still at their, I know they're not old, but they're older compared to drivers, just being able to navigate. And I know when I get out of bed in the morning that my body hurts. I can only imagine the days after they get out of the days when they wake up the next morning after a long race, what their bodies feel like. And just to be able to go out there and consistently, both of them won this year. They're not slowing down in any ways. So congratulations to those two veterans. Looking forward to next season and seeing what it brings. But congratulations to all the drivers, especially Alex Flo on your second straight Astro Cup.
Yeah, couldn't said it better myself. I think what you were trying to say about Bauer and Scott Dixon, the young men that they once were, now they are the older statesmen. There we go, older statesmen of the IndyCar series for sure. Definitely look forward to having them back in the fold. For this episode, like I said, we got one more left in the season. That'll be next week. That'll be our season wrap-up show. I look forward to that for obviously putting a bow on this season, but I don't look forward to that because we're going to be on hiatus for a while. Plus, we're going to hear Michael gloat about coming in late in the year, winning the picks championship, and I really am not looking forward to that. But be that as it may, we'll give him that opportunity to do so. But thanks for everyone that tunes in on a weekly basis here. Everybody that tunes in on Facebook, YouTube, X, make sure you like and share all the videos. Make sure you go to all of the social media scrolling down at the bottom of the screen, and then also to go check out the website where you'll find our podcasts are there. You'll find written content from all of us there as well. Go check that out. Huge off season, and we're going to be following it all here on the Push to Pass podcast. So for myself and Josh and Michael and everyone else that makes up the Push to Pass podcast, we say so long, but we will be back in 1 week's time to do the season wrap-up show. So until then, so long, everybody.
Alex Palou is going to become the second youngest three-time champion ever. Only Sam Hornish Jr. has been younger to win a third championship. He's not going to win his first oval race, but once again, he's done what he has to do. And Colton Herta, who lives in Nashville, Tennessee, has now conquered an oval for the first time. Herta wins the season finale in Nashville, finishes second in the championship. Potto Award comes home second. The Nashville native Joseph Newgarden third. Now we watch Chip Ganassi's DHL driver, Alex Palou. It's the Palou Show, a three-time champion. All in the last 4 years. Alex Palou did it.
Let's go, boys! Yes! Thank you, guys. You guys are the best. Woo! It's great to see you, man. What a team. Thank you so much. Thank you, DHL. Woo!
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2024 NTT IndyCar Series champion, now a three-time champion, Alex Palou. And that is going to find a good place for them, either in the shop or at home, wherever it must end up. Okay, that's your winner, that's your champion. One more time for Alex Palou.